Hi, this is Asa, and welcome to my audio experience.
I want to kick off in western North Carolina, the beautiful mountains. Excited to be a part of the team there. All the guys over there on with Matt and Miller today, and just all the team. I mean, it's unbelievable. So we're excited to be a part of your family as well as you a part of ours. I want to empower your folks over there in Asheville to get well, stay well, and live well, and know that there's hope always for better health. Chocolate, I did say that. Girls, I know you're listening right now and you're thinking, if you tell me chocolate's good for me, this is going to be the best show in the world. Well, guess what? It is good for you. And that's the dark chocolate, not the milk chocolate kind, but usually about the cocoa that's about 75% or better. They had a study that came out. The Washington Post noted it, but it said that eating chocolate could benefit the heart, they're saying. A new study finds lowering heart disease by 37%. That's pretty good. The British Medical Journal did a study where they found over 100,000 people that they did. 1 out of 7 in this study consumed chocolate versus a placebo, and it increased the capability and reduced cardiovascular disease. So pretty amazing. So head to the supermarkets and don't really get the big 5-pound bag of M&Ms. They're saying in the study, but stick to the dark chocolate. We know that. And a lot of the other companies, usually it used to be like the organic companies that were making the dark chocolate, but now a lot of the regular standard companies like Hershey's and some of the mainstream companies are jumping in. And the dark chocolate, remember, 75% cocoa or better. It actually has great benefits. And now they're saying for overall heart health. And a lot of cardiologists are actually recommending this to their patients, which is great to see. You think something that has been touted as being so bad for you actually is good for you. And so chocolate really does play a big role. It also helps with brain chemistry. One of the big reasons why when you eat chocolate, you get that rush, it's not really the little bit of caffeine that's in the chocolate that makes you feel better. It actually is a component in chocolate that raises dopamine. Dopamine's a neurotransmitter. It's a brain chemical that makes us feel good. A lot of the brain chemistry drugs that lifts you out of depression focus on dopamine. Well, chocolate does a similar type mechanism in the body. Literally 2 or 3 squares of a good dark chocolate can help raise dopamine levels sufficient enough to give you not really a buzz for 2 or 3 hours, but to help balance out brain chemistry for a couple of hours. So it's interesting, the effects of what we're finding in our food supply. Food can be our best medicine. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Let's kick it off right now to the phones with Gary. Hi, Gary. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, how you doing?
Living well. What's up?
I'm struggling with depression and a little bit of anxiety.
Okay. When did it start?
Probably about a year ago.
What happened? Did you go through something?
I'm going through a separation right now.
Okay. Is that by you or by her?
By her.
Yeah. She still love you?
I think so.
Yeah. You have kids?
No, we don't.
No kids. How long have you been married?
3 years.
It's your first marriage or only marriage?
No, it's my third and her second.
Well, here's the deal. At the end of the day, she wants to kind of move on, or she wants to separate to figure out if she wants to move on. Does she have a reason, or is she just trying to figure herself out?
She's trying to figure herself out, and it's because I had so much self-esteem issues with prior relationship.
Are you codependent?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not knocking it, man. I'm just asking. So, I mean, a lot of people struggle with that. Well, here's the deal. Relationships can be a real good thing, or they can be a bad thing. And I know it's hard to be separated because if you have a codependent type tendency, it's really tough because you really lean on someone else to bring happiness. And as long as you're in that secure environment, you feel happy. If that environment breaks away, then it feels like your security breaks away, and you can get to a place where you really get scared and You feel alone, and that puts you in a really bad place. So I understand how that can throw you into depression. But, third marriage, and I don't know all the circumstances with all your other ones, third marriage is a tough spot too. And so did that come up with your other marriages as well, that same behavior, or was it different circumstances?
No, it was different circumstances.
Okay. Well, one thing I can tell you is behavior is the most important thing. See, I can sit here and talk to you about what can you do for depression. I can talk about omega-3 fish oils. I can talk about vitamin B6, and I can talk about vitamin D and the big role that it plays in helping with depression. And those are great things to look into. Your diet plays a big role, serotonin, and what the different medications do. And I'm going to get into that in just a second, but I have to tell you this, okay? The behavior that you're dealing with, like until you correct that, until you really get that in line, you'll never be able to have a healthy relationship. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So my question to you is, are you willing to change? Do you want to change? Or is it something you've been working on for a long time?
Yes, I am working on it now. Like I said, we've been separated for almost a year, and I've been working on myself a lot, but it's still with the depression and anxiety every once in a while.
Have you got some counseling? Do you have any, like a pastor or somebody you're talking with?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Let me tell you something. Guys need other guys. And make sure you have somebody that has a really strong marriage. They're a real strong guy, meaning that they're fine whether they're married or fine whether they're by themselves. Well, here's a key for depression. What can play a big role is our diet. And the foods that we eat every single day can play a major role in our overall health. So with depression and anxiety, the foods you put inside your body can affect brain chemistry at a very high level. So that's what we'll do in just a moment. We're going to a commercial break, and we're going to talk about the different food groups and what they can do to affect things like serotonin and dopamine and GABA, which is a big one for anxiety, so that you don't have to feel like you're dependent on medications. You can actually take responsibility for your health and begin to kind of take charge. Because not that the medicine's bad, it's a good thing, and it's great to manage when we're going through certain symptoms. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to say, hey, I'm doing something proactive with what I'm going through. And you really can. Depression and anxiety can be tough to deal with. You've got enough dealing with trying to rebuild yourself. But we'll get into some good answers for this, for depression and anxiety, when we come back.
Turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Asa telling you to just breathe with LiveO2. LiveO2 is the world leader using oxygen to increase our daily health and wellness. Oxygen is the most essential component for health we need every second of every day. If you're looking to improve your quality of life, enable youthful lifestyle, enhance mental clarity, and unleash better healthy living, then look no further than LiveO2. I personally use LiveO2, and it's been an absolute game changer. For more about LiveO2, visit liveO2.com.
To find out more, connect with On Call Radio online at InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. You're listening to the show where your health is your greatest wealth. Going to the break, talking with Gary about depression and anxiety. Going through a tough time right now with separation and, just working on things with his wife, which I think Gary would throw any guy. I don't care if you're dealing, working through certain security issues and, being codependent and all. And just so you know, a lot of people struggle with that. But the depression and anxiety can go along with that, and it's natural. It's subconscious a lot of times. But it also can be nutritional, and that can play a big role. Are you overweight by chance, Gary?
No, I'm not.
Okay. So is your diet fairly good, or are you the kind of person that can eat pretty much whatever you want and stay thin?
I can eat pretty much what I want.
Okay. Well, here's the deal. If you can radically change some of the things you're eating, and that's tough a lot of times because when you're going through depression, food tends to be kind of a soothing part of what we do. It can kind of, you know what I'm saying? It almost acts like a drug in some ways. So, eating certain foods can make you feel better and that sort of thing. But you have two main neurotransmitters that you're working with right now, the brain chemicals. And there are certain things you can do to help with anxiety and depression. One is by avoiding gluten. And gluten is a protein found in most grains. So things like bread, pasta, cereal, crackers, those kind of foods, they actually play a big role in keeping serotonin levels, which is kind of a feel-good chemical, from being at its peak level. And that's what the medication with Celexa that you're taking, that's what that's doing. It's attempting to balance out your serotonin levels. See, but you're saying it's not working very well. So let me tell you some foods that can help if you look into that can affect brain chemistry. All right, here's a couple of them. Mushrooms, fish, chicken, spinach, red meat, and turkey. So are you vegetarian or anything like that, or you eat pretty much whatever?
I try to eat healthy.
Okay. I mean, are making these kind of changes something you could do?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. Well, let me throw some things at you then. Supplements that can be helpful. Niacinamide, which is a vitamin B3, and P5P, pyridoxal 5-phosphate. It's a version of vitamin B6. Now, those you can get at a health food store, but you're going to talk with your doctor, and here's the deal. Supplements is a different ballgame than foods. And with supplements, you can't really start taking a bunch of things if you're taking those meds at the same time. So you said you got an appointment, tomorrow or the next day, so just maybe discuss that with them when you go, all right? And here's the deal with GABA. GABA is the one for anxiety. Talk to me about anxiety. Do you get panic attacks or feel like you can't breathe? What happens with that?
No, it doesn't last very long. It only lasts about like an hour, maybe at the most sometimes. But then it goes away. I just don't have it very much, but I notice when I do have it, it's like my body tenses up.
Okay. Well, most of the time, have you taken any medicine like Xanax or anything like that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's okay. Have you taken any medicine for it like Xanax?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, to raise your GABA levels and get those manageable and where they need to be, here's the key, because GABA is more about not eating certain foods, but it's about staying away from certain foods. And so just to get into that, here are the foods that you should avoid if you want to keep your GABA levels at an equal playing field, all right, which can help when you're struggling with the potential of having, the anxiety like we're talking about. Here they are: peanuts, walnuts, hazelnuts, almonds, cheese, oatmeal, barley, wheat, rice, salmon, spinach, and beans. So a lot of those foods, here's the amazing thing, a lot of those foods sound healthy, don't they? I mean, like salmon you would think would be a great health food. Spinach, oh yeah, all day long. But see, understanding what the foods can do that can affect your brain chemistry, that's a big deal. So something to think about. So I'll say them again: peanuts, walnuts, hazelnuts, almonds, cheese, oatmeal, barley, wheat, rice, salmon, spinach, and beans. So all of those. And again, if you want kind of the healthy foods that you can eat, the ones you should avoid, my book is available, and it's called Empowering Your Health, and it's very easy to follow. It's kind of how to do things from A to Z, and I think it could be a real good resource for you. And matter of fact, it's just one of those challenges when you're dealing with depression and anxiety, Gary, it's as you're walking through this, you want to be proactive. And I know you are. I mean, that's why you're reaching out to me right now. It's one of those things you want to just make sure you're changing your lifestyle. And exercise plays a big role too. When you don't feel like getting out of bed, you just feel kind of bummed out and you don't feel like doing anything. It can make a big difference just to go and get on the treadmill for 30 minutes or go to the gym and, do your best to work out for 20 minutes or go walk around the block. Just getting that in motion. There's a lot of studies out there that have shown us that it increases the endorphins in the body and increases the functionality of the brain. It can make you feel better. So those are some very beneficial things from more of a lifestyle perspective that can help in dealing with anxiety and depression. But, get to the root, man. I mean, really, as you're talking to the counselor and all that, Get to the root of why you feel the tendency to put another person where they can make you or break you. And that's probably what she's struggling with. You know, women, they want to be adored and they want to be loved, no doubt about it. But they want the guy a lot of times to be the rock and to be a place where they can lean on. And that's what you have to be. And I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just, as you're walking through that process, I mean, we've all got stuff we got to walk through, you know. And it's one of those times where you've already been through several marriages, and this could be the one to stick. You know, this could be the one. If maybe she's having her doubts, that's okay. But you just get to a place where you can be the guy you were designed to be, that you're called to be. And as you go through that process, you know, good nutrition, good lifestyle habits, they can help. They really can. And your doctor can recommend certain medications that can help, even though the Celexa might not right now. You know, there are other medications. There's tons of them, actually. And many times people have to play around with different ones to figure out what works. But, you know, you may find by radically changing your lifestyle that you may not even need the meds. And by working through counseling and kind of getting Gary back, you might not need it either. So just a good battle plan, a good game plan for you. But I just want you to know we're here for you. You can call anytime. You can email anytime. And we'll do everything we can to walk you through the process. And if anything, just be a friend to you. Thanks for the call. Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today.
To find out more, visit the show online, InShapeNetwork.com.
Lines are open, 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. This is the show where your health really is your greatest wealth. A lot of people not sleeping well. I hear that all the time. Calls in here all the time. It could be due to blood pressure. And they're saying now if you sleep poorly, your chances of developing high blood pressure may increase, as the new research says. In the study, men with the lowest level of deeper stages of sleep, known as the slow wave sleep, had about 80% higher chance of developing high blood pressure than men with the highest level of restorative sleep. And the link, regardless of the factors such as obesity or how long the men slept, but the reductions in the deepest stage of sleep is specifically associated with an increased risk of developing the high blood pressure. Dr. Susan Redline, who's a professor of sleep medicine at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, and also Harvard Medical School, there was a study published on the August 29th edition of the Journal of Hypertension, and it reinforced other research that has a link to sleep problems and raised risk of obesity and cardiovascular issues as well. But they found, after doing this, the researchers dividing all the men up in different groups, and they found that they took into account the race, the age, body mass, and other factors along with this. But in the study, it found overall that the sleep deprivation led to a higher risk of blood pressure. And the deeper stage of sleep that a person goes into in these men, the less chance they have of high blood pressure and cardiovascular disease. So it's interesting when it comes down to that. Sleep is really important. If you notice that in medicine, typically in healthcare, no matter what somebody has, no matter if it's diabetes, heart disease, depression, anxiety, whatever it is, if a person's not sleeping well, the physician typically will always go after getting them to sleep first, because so much restoration can happen when someone gets proper sleep at night. If they can get into the deep stages of sleep, the body can regenerate, it can restore, it can repair for the next day. And everything from hormones all the way around, it's so important and so critical for us to get good, proper sleep. So great study, especially in the indication of blood pressure. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. Let's go now to Patricia. Patricia, welcome, darling. How can I help?
Well, I have a problem with my face sweating.
Okay. When did it start?
Well, I just can't remember. But if I exert myself around the house here, when I'm all by myself and everything, if I do some little thing, I mean, to me it seems like a little thing, but my body, it seems like it's exerting itself, and my face starts to sweat. And also, in real hot weather, if I'm out, even between the car and the church, that little bit you walk, I get hot and my face sweats.
Okay. But only your face. You don't sweat in other areas, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure I do, but that's the embarrassing part, because my face, I've looked in the mirror when I've been sweating in the face, and it's coming out of all the pores in the face. Big drops, and then they run down my face.
Now, are you overweight at all?
Yeah, I sure am.
Okay, and I'm not laughing at you. I'm just, that plays a big role.
Then I'll get rid of it.
How much overweight are you? If you said, I need to lose this much weight, how much would it be, you think?
45 pounds.
That's not bad. You can do that.
I know it. I will do it.
Okay. And what is your age, darling?
85.
Well, you're just a spring chicken. You got plenty of time.
Don't worry, I'll lose the weight, and I know I'm a spring chicken. Everyone tells me I look about 60, but I'm 85, and I'm in pretty good health, and I can walk good, and everything.
Have you had some blood work done recently with your doctor? When's the last time you had that done?
What done, please?
Your blood work. Have you had any blood work done with your physician recently?
Yes, I did, and before there was something a little wrong with my liver, but this last one it was fine, and the blood didn't bother him a bit. He said it was fine, I'm all right, but I don't know what tests he takes. Like you suggest, they ought to do a test for vitamin D level. Well,
absolutely.
I doubt he goes to that, but I should pipe up about it, I think.
Yeah, pipe up a little bit. Go ahead and ask him. Jump in there, Yeah, and I think that's a good thing to do. Do you have any other?
I've been taking vitamin D because you like it.
Okay, good. That's good. Now, here's another kicker. Now, you sweat a lot. Do you have anything like diabetes or any other health challenge that you've been diagnosed with?
Nope.
Nothing?
Nope.
Don't take any medicine?
Pardon?
You don't take any medicine?
Well, sure I do.
For what?
I take sertraline in the morning.
Okay.
And let's see, I take amitriptyline at night, and
well, then just with those medicines, that shouldn't be a big issue. I would go to your physician, have them do a couple of blood tests like the vitamin D. That can play a role, and also your sodium and potassium, Patricia, can play a role, as well as the excess sweating. So it could be an issue with the adrenal glands. It could be an issue with your sodium potassium being off. You could have a little bit too much on the potassium side, and they can check that through the blood work. So when you go in to get that vitamin D done, maybe have them check the other areas as well. And, exercise will play a big role. Eating the proper diet is going to play a big role. And, of course, I'm a fan of the anti-inflammatory diet, so maybe that's something you want to consider looking into. But 45 pounds, that's nothing. You can lose that. Really, you can. And I'm not just saying that. If you'll get active, really watch your diet, play a big role with that, and get focused and start making some of these changes, I think you're going to do great. So keep me posted on how it's going. Get the blood work done, and they'll probably find lying in there some of the issues of what's causing the sweating. And also look into celery juice, all right? Celery juice has been known for people that do a lot of excess sweating or just pour out sweat seemingly more than they used to. A lot of times it could be a little bit of sodium levels being off, and it's the best natural form of sodium, not like table salt. It's a little bit different that we have. So check into that. Keep me posted, okay? Thanks for the call, darling. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. You're listening to the best in healthy talk radio, the show where your health is your greatest wealth. Tony writes in an email from New Orleans, Louisiana. It says, me and my wife are proud parents of 3 kids. You go, Tony, and your wife. I think it's a great thing. Kids are the best. Our youngest is 6 and just started school. He's only sleeping a couple of hours a night. The rest of the time, he's walking in a room, and in and out of our room. Is this a bad sign, or do you think it's only temporary? Well, it just depends. Sometimes kids go through anxiety if he's just started school for the first time, so he's probably going through some separation anxiety from you and the wife, and so he probably feels comfortable by coming in, spending more time with you guys. So, most experts and even psychologists would say in that case to not really fight it, because kids will let you know when they're okay. Sometimes you might want to let them hang out with you. If he feels more comfortable, can go to sleep. Every now and then is not that big of a deal. The pediatricians will also say that's okay. It depends on who you talk to. You do need to kind of counsel him as a parent, be a friend to him, and let him know that it's okay. It's a natural phase of life. And what is your struggle? Everybody is dealing with something with their health. You talk to people, and they always say, you say, hi, how's it going, John? Oh, well, it's going good. My diabetes is getting a little bit better. How's it going, Susan? Well, the hot flashes, they've been toned up a little bit. I just feel like I'm flashing all the time. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, you talk to people and really just say, hey, how's it going? Half the time, people don't even mean when they ask how somebody's doing. It's just in the South, for sure, it tends to be just the thing we do. Well, it's funny because people, 9 times out of 10, I guess as the older you get, maybe after age 45 or so, people always want to answer about their health. How are you doing? Well, they'll start telling you how their big toe started hurting yesterday. Well, did you really want to know that? TMI. So the reality is there's some basic principles that you can follow to get your health back, to go from where you are to where you need to be. And following these principles every single day can help you tremendously. So you don't get lost in the clutter. You don't get lost in all the information and misinformation that's out there regarding our health, and you can go to the next level. So it's all common sense, and that's what we want to help you do on this show. That's what we want to empower you to do on this show. 888-283-7272. That's 888-283-7272. You're listening to the best in healthy talk radio. Obesity prevention they're talking about now should focus a lot on daycare. And the experts are saying that the fight against childhood obesity should have a new focus. We call it daycare. 82% of American children under age 6 are in daycare outside the home while their parents work. And that means that many meals are no longer eaten around the family table, but at daycare, where parents may have little or no control over what they're eating. Now, let me just stop right there. That is the case for a lot of people. But parents, you have to jump in. Whether you prepare the lunch, you prepare the meals, and you are in control. Do not let a daycare center dictate the kind of food that your kids are going to eat. It's crazy. But they've done a study. The kids in full-time daycare get 2/3 of their daily calories there. So it's really the older adults who are driving the nutritional value of what children consume. They did a study at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina, and they said, I think it's Benjamin Nealon and colleagues did the study, and they found that most states have minimal requirements for healthy eating and physical activity in child daycare. So there is some state regulation, but it depends on how much they're really enforcing it. And it may differ from public health expert recommendations. So like what your doctor would say is going to be different than what the standards are for the daycare. So you might want to ask, how much activity is my child going to get? What kind of foods are you planning on? Make sure you ask all the necessary questions so that you don't add to the obesity issue that we already are seeing with our kids. We'll be right back.
Do you want to turn back the clock 15 years and have more energy? This is Dr. Asa telling you to just breathe with Livo2. Livo2 is the world leader using oxygen to increase our daily health and wellness. Oxygen is the most essential component for health we need every second of every day. If you're looking to improve your quality of life, enable youthful lifestyle, enhance mental clarity, and unleash better healthy living, then look no further than Livo2. I personally use Livo2, and it's been an absolute game changer. For more about Livo2, visit livo2.com.
Connect with On Call Radio and watch On Call TV at InShapeNetwork.com.
Line's open, 888-283. 888-283-7272. You can check us out online or send me an email. We're glad to make it part of the show. We're going to kick it off now.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm living well. How can I help?
I was calling to see if you had any suggestions for helping me to beat a dependency problem that I have.
Okay, what's up? How's it? Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I've been dependent on hydrocodone for about 4 years now, and I'm ready to stop.
Did you start taking it for an injury or some pain management?
For an injury, a broken foot.
Okay. And then you started taking it, got hooked on it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it happens. It does. What is your age, Jason?
39.
Yeah. Have you talked with a doctor about it yet?
No, I haven't. You are the one I called.
Okay. Here's the deal. There is a great way to get off that. It's going to be hard. You probably know that. It's going to be tough. It's going to hurt. It's going to be painful. It's going to be uncomfortable. So the only way you're going to be able to get off of it, there is no silver bullet. There is no, kind of candy coating it. I wish I could tell you, man, there is the best way to get off this. It's just smooth as silk, and you won't feel a thing. There's not. It's not going to be fun. So my question to you is, why are you ready?
Well, to be honest with you, over the years I've lost a couple of jobs, lost a lot of weight, and I'm done.
Yeah.
Make a change.
Yep. You're ready to be you again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that whenever you go from kind of a, I wouldn't say you're in a bad place, but just in a different place in your life, and whenever you go from that to a new place where you want to get back to who you are, and get back to that place where you can be productive and successful, and you can make a difference and make an impact, which you can. But to climb that little hill that you've got to climb is going to be tough. So my question that I always ask people, it's literally, I ask everyone, it's a subtitle in my book, and I made it that way for a reason, but whenever I work with patients or whatever, I always say, do you want to get well? So that's the question. So you're telling me yes, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So the second question I always ask people is, okay, you want to get well, that's great, and I commend you for that. But the second question is, are you willing to do what it takes no matter how hard it might be?
I am.
Okay. Then here's the deal. You got to find a doc in your area, and you got to go in there like a family physician. You got to tell them that, look, man, I'm hooked on hydrocodone. I want to get off. And most doctors are going to look at you like, sure you do. Okay? There are physicians out there that are really, really helpful, and they will take you by the hand, and they'll walk you through it. There is a wean-off process that they'll wean you down, and there's going to be a process where I would probably plan on seeing that doctor about at least maybe even once a week in the beginning for about a month, and then go to 2 weeks, once every 2 weeks, just for the accountability and to know that they're there for you. You don't want to do the deal where they give you, if they give you here's what might be typical. If they give you a wean-off process and say, see me in 6 weeks, don't do that. It's just going to be too easy for you to fall off the wagon. Do something where you can hang with them a little bit more than that. And then here's another one of what you want to do. You want to get with like a registered dietitian and have them work on a dietary strategy for you during this process, because it'll be extremely helpful for you. Do you have, do you do any other bad habits like smoking or anything? You with me?
Yeah, I smoke.
You do smoke. Okay. One thing at a time. I'm not gonna push you on that one. But the one thing you definitely want to, the addictive behavior, dependency behavior is there. And so by you kicking this and getting victory over this, once you see the victory, once you've pushed through, once you've made it, it's going to be easy for you to get off the smoking as well. You just need to see the victory for yourself. But a physician should help walk you through this, because there is medicine involved. And a lot of docs, believe it or not, family physicians are really the ones I would go to, because they're kind of the front lines, and they see this a lot, and they'll be able to walk you through it, come up with a game plan. But as long as you keep in front of you the fact that you want to get well, that nothing is going to hold you back, that not one thing could cause you to go back and put one of those pills in your body, that you have a made-up mind. You got to have some goals, and I would write them down, and I would put them on little note cards. I'd put it on your mirror. I'd put it in your car over where the speedometer is, where you can see it all the time. I'd read it multiple times throughout the day, because you have to have a reason. If you don't have a written out reason that you can see on a regular basis of why you decided to quit and what your goal is going to be, then many times people won't stick to it. You've got to keep your goal before you during an entire, at least 30-day period. This is going to take a little bit longer than that. But you just got to know it's going to be tough. It's going to be hard. But if you're wanting to get well, then you'll make it. But there's not a silver bullet. I wish I could tell you that there was. But I can tell you this. Replacement behavior therapy is very good. Now, what is that? It is where you immerse yourself in some form of hobby or habit. So, for example, if you're trying to kick this, and maybe you get in, I don't know what you're into, but maybe you get into healthy eating or exercise or something that you can really kind of throw yourself into, that is something you do every single day that you love doing. Maybe it's fishing, maybe it's golf, maybe it's tennis, and get addicted to that, the hobby, or some type of new lifestyle choice. And by getting into that, it'll slowly remove the other from your life, the addictive behavior to the drug. So that can be very helpful. But keep me posted. I want to know how it goes. And, of course, here on the show, we're always here for you. All right? Thanks so much for the call. Puts another hour in the charts. I'd like to thank our producer, Chief Engineer John Garrison, Leslie Pardue, and the rest of the team. I'm your health and lifestyle coach. Go tell one person something you learned on this show, and together we can change the health of our friends, our families, and our communities. You're listening to the show that helps you get well, stay well, and live well, where we're diagnosing hope one person at a time.
Hi, it's Asa. I'm giving you a copy of my best-selling book for free to help you in your health journey today. I'll pay for the book. All you do is just cover the small shipping and handling costs. Go to AsaRx.com and get your free book today. Did you know that you can listen to the AsaRx audio experience on Spotify and Pandora? For all the ways to watch and listen, check out our show page at AsaRx.com/experience.